Welcome to all you, not Gemini, no, Librans. And this is your monthly horoscope with me, Veerle, for April 2016. Now, this month is actually full of retrogrades, and when there is a retrograde of Mars and Mercury in particular, this is like preparing month. A lot of prepare for some huge changes going on that has to do with the way that you act, basically, and the way that you think. But what is it for you, Librans? The way that you act is related here in the way that you talk and the way that you communicate with others. And this is about to make a huge change. So there is like this energy in this over focus on your third house this month during April, and it's like a preparing now and to see the results around August, September time, because when Mars goes retrograde, you see the results when Mars goes direct again in that same sign, and that will be, as I said, August, September time. So now is the preparation. So there is like a change of doing when it comes to the way that you communicate with others. So expect in the beginning that you will be challenged a little bit. You will be, people can push your buttons, you could say, with having Mars in the third house. Now, what is the best to do? The best to do is not going into but ego struggles. Because if you do that, with having Mars retrograde, with having Mars very close to a fixed star called Antares, and with having Mars in Sagittarius and Saturn there, I think the worst thing you can do is being very ego-like. And I know that Librans are not like that, normally, unless they have like a whole stellium in Aries or something, but normally a Libra is taking into consideration other people. But of course, we've got Librans who've got quite some fire in their chart, who could have a lot of Sagittarius in their chart, Aries or Leo, and then it makes them a little bit different. But these are general horoscopes. So in general, you Librans, you will do well with this retrograde. But if you are someone who is a lot worried about what you say is my way and the highway, then you are going to have a bit of a rougher time here with Mars retrograde in your third house, because it's going to backfire directly towards you if your intention is not 100% pure, you could say. Now, why is that? Because Mars in Sagittarius, Mars is the way that you do. It's your drive, it's your desire, it is the ego actually. But when it's in Sagittarius, it wants to do the ideal. When it's very close to so what is it going to do? It is going to move forwards into your third house of Sagittarius, 1 degree, 2 degrees, and so on and so on. And then at 8 degrees, it's going to stop very close to the fixed star Antares, and then it goes backwards. Now, this fixed star Antares is also about Mars, and is also the flavor of, you could say at its worst, it's war. It's conflict, and at its best, it's courage. So this fixed star is all about strategic ability, being a strategic, being alert on a mental level, but in a good way, so you can adapt the way that you speak, the way that you communicate in the future in a better way that is better for you, and that is also better for others. So it's not about being blunt here. With Mars and Sagittarius, normally these are people who do the things just without thinking. But now that it goes retrograde, it's about no. Think twice before you say something, you Librans, because forewarned is forearmed. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this is the best thing to do with this kind of energy. It's doing like this with the horses, hold your reins, or how do they say that? because ego is involved here. And again, it's in a house of communication. A lot of people will think, oh, that's not important, but it is, because most relationships have to do with, you know, if you don't communicate well, then there's trouble in paradise. And the good thing is that Venus is in your opposite sign for approximately the whole month, but it does square Pluto and Uranus again. So again, there are challenges with relationships. There are challenges with what do I want, what do they want, this is what I want, this is what they want. And it's a lot about what your sign is all about. It's a lot about finding the peace there. It's a lot about asserting yourself there, but also listening to what others has to say. And you will see, if you are listening towards what other people have to say, they will listen to you as well. But it's the tricky thing for here during this month in April. I'm going to give you a bit of an extreme here. If you would say, yeah, that's what I want, and I think that is how it is, that is going to be worst case scenario. If you think, okay, I don't agree at the moment, but I'm going to take time to revisit this, then you are going to get the most out of this transit. So it's a lot about the way that you communicate. Maybe you communicate in the future not at all, and that is going to change. Maybe you communicated too sharp, and in the future you are going to adjust this. Maybe you communicated too soft. So whatever it is, your communication style is about to change for the better, but there will be some resistance there, and that means that it's a good time to work on that. So that's for the Librans. So for the Librans amongst you who never talk when they should, this is what they're adapting. This is the change that they're about to do. But it can be the other way around as well, as I said. Now, Mercury is also going retrograde at the very end of the month, on the 29th. So it's more for something to talk about in May. But Mercury in Taurus in the 8th house, very well aspected this month. Even when it goes retrograde, it's very well aspected with Jupiter and Pluto. So there is like profound transformation going on for you, because this is happening in your 8th house of transformation. When it comes, again, communication. And it will suit you so well. You will feel so much better, especially after May already, because then the Mercury goes into your 9th house, which will be in Gemini. It will be in June. It's a bit later than that. But what is happening with you at the same time is like a whole transformation when it comes to how you understand yourself, your psyche, how you understand things on a very deep metaphysical level. So out of the physical, the metaphysical level. Communication, you could say, on a very deep, real level, that is very powerful with Pluto there, that is very meaningful with Jupiter there, but that the way that you think now, the work that you do in April and also in May, the fruits that you are going to have afterwards is like for a lifetime, you could say. So there are some things, the way that you think, some things are dying in the way that you think things through, and so that you can apply a new way of thinking. It's a lot of thinking, isn't it, for you Librans? And you like to communicate in general. So, but it's not the most difficult Mercury retrograde at all, because Mercury in the 8th can sometimes mean very deep thinking, very deep focus, obsessive thinking even. That's the negative side. But again, it's in Taurus, it's very real, and maybe you're thinking about money on another level. You're thinking about money that you share if you live with someone. So you're thinking of changing that as well. Could be the case as well. You know, money, finances. The money that you share with your close relationship, there can be some changes that you're doing, but all in all, I don't think they're going to go very difficult. So take your time. That's the best with Mercury in Taurus. Take your time to overthink your financial situation, because there's some changes that you want to take, and that is good. And it involves someone else as well. Or there is some money that is returning towards you. With the Mercury going retrograde in the 8th house, could be the case as well. Having said that, you dear Librans, I wish you a very good month. Thank you for watching. And by the way, there's a new moon in your opposite sign in Aries on the 7th. So on relationship level, there can be some new beginnings, endings as well, but new beginnings. So having said that, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. Bye-bye.